What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Thursday, March 19th. Now in today's dog video, I want to share with you how dog Bitcoin is outperforming legacy and also VC-backed meme coins and even Bitcoin itself. Now what we're seeing on chain, luckily we have data to show this, that whales are accumulating. Yes, the top 100 whale wallets are accumulating, and if you didn't know, if you participated in the Kraken 3% deposit match, qualify to have stablecoins rewarded to your account, which is USDG, and it should be in your account right now. So let's talk about all these things. I want to talk about what's going on in the market because we just saw Bitcoin take a massive dip, but dog did really well. So let's cover it all in this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. Okay, so dog right now is down 1.43%. It is down to 78 million. Now, not too long ago, dog was roughly at around an 82 million market cap, dropped as low as 78. But notice this, dog Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin did take a massive dip, dog is doing well. It's actually outperforming Bitcoin in the past 24 hours. Look over the past week. Dog is actually outperforming Bitcoin over the past week, which is actually kind of crazy. How far did Bitcoin drop? Well, apparently overnight, we saw that Bitcoin was roughly at around 74,000 US dollars, dropped as low as 68 out of nowhere, which is kind of crazy. Let's look into where it could go further. Apparently, people are saying, especially Crypto, that Bitcoin could potentially hit around 50 to 56,000 US dollars. I'm completely open to that. Listen, I'd rather be open to a bear market and accept maybe a reality that may happen. And that way I can have peace in my mind and move forward and think about, okay, what's the next buying opportunity? What's the next new thing that's going to survive in this market? Bitcoin's not the only thing that went down. I mean, just look at the NASDAQ, look at the S&P 500. They're all down. Stock market lost over hundreds of millions of dollars just within the past 24 hours. Now let's look at even gold and silver, because gold out of nowhere lost $2.36 trillion in 9 hours. And silver lost $580 billion in 9 hours. Now, really quickly, I want to talk about silver. So apparently you've seen that silver reached new all-time highs. It even surpassed gold. It had a God candle. It was having a parabola event. And it could be due to one factor, and that is Jane Street. Now, you know that Jane Street was behind the Bitcoin manipulation. Whenever you would see a 10 a.m. or an 8 p.m. time frame, Bitcoin's price would drop. And Jane Street got called out on that, and they just started deleting all their tweets on X. If you go on their X account, it's completely blank. Now, we're starting to possibly see that Jane Street is responsible for silver pumping to where it is right now. And maybe that's why you're seeing silver dump right now, because maybe Jane Street is dumping their bags as well. Now let's look into gold. Now if you don't know, when the Iran war happened in 1976, gold saw a massive rally and then a massive dump that took over a couple years for it to really go to the downside. We could be experiencing the exact same thing with the Iran war happening right now in 2026. And on the right side is basically the US dollar compared to gold. And it could see the exact same factor where gold, even though it's seen a huge parabola event, could be dropping and falling within the next couple years. What does that mean for Bitcoin? It's actually very positive for Bitcoin, as it will be a new store of value. Now, this is another thing I want to share with you, which is the PMI data. This is also the ISM model. So what we're seeing from what Dan has reported, basically what we're seeing with the PMI line is that it did pump and it went above 50 and now is still above 50. It's right now roughly around 52.4, which could be a signal that we're going to have expansion versus contraction. If you don't know what that means, basically you don't want contraction. Contraction looks like this, where the PMI charting line goes down. Expansion is when the PMI line goes up. And right now we don't want to see a contraction, but it looks like it could be expanding. Now, when the PMI data, aka the ISM model, expands, that means more money printing. And also, we could see that the business model aligns with Bitcoin. If you looked in the legacy and aligned Bitcoin's price with the ISM model, they're pretty much very closely correlated at the very moment. We'll see how this rolls out. I'll keep you guys and girls updated about this. Now let's look into the meme coin sector, because this is all about dog. So what happened when Bitcoin dropped to 64 to 68,000 US dollars? Well, obviously meme coins take a dip. Now you may have noticed that when Bitcoin pumped from $68,000 to $74,000, meaning when it was going up, you saw that these meme coins were going up as well in the double digits, which we did report. But look at what's happening right now. They're dropping even harder. This is the problem that I'm going to address in just a little bit. So you can see that Pudgy Penguins down 5%, SPX down 4%. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to where Dog Bitcoin is. Dog Bitcoin roughly around 1.3% to the downside, still hovering around 78 million market cap. As a reminder before we move on to the video, if you participated in the Kraken 3% deposit match, which ended on March 9th, to me, I told everybody on February 20th that I deposited all my dog from all my cold storage wallets into Kraken because I wanted this 3% deposit match. Why? Because they are going to reward you in a stablecoin called USDG. So you should be able to see this amount in your portfolio. And remember, you have to keep this amount in your wallet until 2027. I forget the date, but it's like a specific date in 2027. So you got to keep all your funds there in order to keep those rewards. But right now, if you don't know, once you find your USDG in your app or on your exchange on your desktop, you will be able to trade that USDG to buy more dog if you really want to. So you actually have the opportunity to spend that USDG stablecoin to buy more dog directly through Kraken. So this is actually an amazing opportunity to do that. I do want to see your posts. If you can tag me, I would love to see you deploy that capital. Now, something I want to share with you is C2 Blockchain's amazing thread. Most people still don't understand what DOG actually is. So this is the comparisons that they actually focused on. Let's break it down. DOG versus every major crypto category. DOG versus Doge, DOG versus ETH and Solana, versus Bitcoin, versus NFTs. Let's dive deep. So let's start with Dogecoin. Dogecoin is on its own blockchain. DOG is built directly on Bitcoin. Doge is inflationary, meaning it doesn't have a cap. The tokens can keep printing more and more and more, so there's no fixed supply. But DOG has a supply. Doge is a legacy meme coin. It's the OG of all meme coins. But DOG, by the way, is the first Bitcoin native meme coin layer right now. Now let's compare DOG to Ethereum, Solana, and even AVAX. Now keep in mind, Ethereum, Solana, and AVAX actually compete with each other, and they also have their own economies competing with each other, meaning they have too many meme coins competing for the same market share within their own ecosystem. Then also you have VCs that have unlocked pressure. So there are some VC tokens out there that have invested in these specific tokens, and then when the time comes around where their tokens get unlocked, they then sell their tokens, such as Pengu. Then you have constant upgrade risk, which is basically if you have Ethereum upgrading, then that potentially has a risk of a hack. But DOG, by the way, has no chain competition, no roadmap dependency, meaning no team member giving you promises which will never be delivered. And then also it's built directly on the most secure network on earth, which is Bitcoin, and the most decentralized. Let's compare Bitcoin to DOG. Bitcoin is the digital gold. DOG is a cultural layer on top of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a store of value. DOG captures attention plus velocity. So think about it. Bitcoin is the base layer and the most secured layer. DOG is a consumer layer. It actually onboards more people to Bitcoin by going through DOG. Then you have DOG compared to NFTs. NFTs are fragmented, illiquid. DOG is fungible, scalable, liquid, and also capped at 100 billion tokens. Then you can see that based on every cycle has a dominant meme. So if you look at 2017, there was the ICO boom. And then there was 2021, there was the NFT boom. Guess what? 2024 is going to be Bitcoin native assets, more specifically Bitcoin meme coins. DOG is positioned at the center of that shift. Now that you know that data, you also need to know this other thing that's happening in the crypto market. Have you noticed that the crypto market is kind of quiet, both on YouTube and on X? Basically, 99% of crypto investors have either left the space or they're just too scared to invest in anything. They're more chasing the pumps of S&P 500, gold, and silver. But guess what? Every single time that we see a bullish headline regarding crypto, if it's the Clarity Act, or if maybe there's going to be PMI data, or maybe even consumer price index that's supposed to be positive, whatever it may be, you see that crypto dumps. But obviously it was due to manipulation. It could be the 1010 crash back in October with Binance. It could be Jane Street, a market manipulator, suppressing the price of Bitcoin. Either way, the whole point of this is that it's all orchestrated. It's all engineered to provide negative sentiment because they want you, a majority of you, to leave. They don't want you to be a part of this. They want you to sell everything at realized losses, and they want to buy your assets. So what you do not keep an account of is the white swan event. Now, what is a white swan event? A white swan event is the opposite of a black swan event. A white swan event is when something happens that nobody sees coming. Retail doesn't see it, technical analysis doesn't see it, and not even Wall Street sees it. It catches everybody off guard. We have not seen a white swan event in quite some time. I think the last time that we possibly saw a white swan event was when BlackRock announced that it was going to start a Bitcoin ETF. And that sent Bitcoin from 24,000 as high as 124,000. So what's the next white swan event going to be? And that's the thing. You need to pay attention. You not need to be set on the sidelines or avoid the space. You need to be ready to buy the specific assets that you want right now. For me, it's dog Bitcoin before that white swan event happens, and it will happen. And this is why we're starting to see a lot of whales accumulate. So yesterday, we saw this random large green candle appear out of nowhere. It was roughly around a 79 million market cap, and then we pumped as high as 82 million market cap. And that was due to a few things, such as these wallets. Now, each one of these 4 different whale wallets bought roughly around 18 to roughly 26,000 US dollars each. Now, does that send the dog token from 79 to 82 million market cap? I mean, that's $3 million. That doesn't make sense for something like this, when actually it does. What happens is, if you have a short squeeze by just having a few whale wallets buy into dog on Kraken, then what happens is the market makers on Gate and other exchanges start to react to that, and then they start supporting and wanting to push the price of dog up. That's what market maker bots do. But again, market maker bots on these other exchanges can be good for your crypto asset, but they also can be very bad, because if the crypto market goes down, they'll also take your token down with it even harder. But what we saw was Kraken is actually doing something that Gate and BitGet aren't doing. Gate actually has organic trading volume, meaning it doesn't use a market maker. It actually uses retail. Retail is the main reason we saw over a 10,000% increase in volume on Kraken. And that's why he even surpassed Gate. Gate.io only saw 3,000% increase in volume. So this is why people are preferring to buy dog on Kraken, and why we actually saw, just as of this morning, 2 other wallets that bought roughly 38,000 US dollars each of dog out of nowhere. So here's the most important thing. How is dog outperforming the market? Let's look at how it's outperforming meme coins, such as SPX 6900 on the right and Pengu on the left. Now, as I mentioned for both of these, ever since October 10th, which is exactly where these icons are, that was when the 1010 flash crash happened. And the market maker bots had to completely wipe out their order books. And that's why you saw Pengu and SPX lose a lot of value. There's a huge sell-off. But that's why dog Bitcoin, because it doesn't pay market makers, was able to gain lead ever since October 10th. So we just saw today, this morning, the dog is outperforming Pengu by 4%. Dog is outperforming SPX by 2%. This is why it's so important to have organic retail trading volume, not market maker trading volume. So this is where we are right now in terms of the dog chart. You can see that dog is down 2%, but Pengu and SPX down 4 to 6%. Now, what I saw within the RSI is that dog did experience with this purple line going upwards against this middle red resistance level. When it got up there, I was a little nervous, because usually when we get up to that point, where was dog price around then? It was right around here at specifically 120 million market cap. So when you have that specific level right here, and we're only at this point at 83 million, that's something I don't want happening. I do want a reset. I want this reset to happen, and that's exactly what's happening. Because when you have a reset, it allows for another leg up to reset and go back up again. That's just basically what I want to see. And when I go to dog to Bitcoin price in Satoshis, you can see that again, we're still oversold, but notice something. The blue and orange line within the MACD are still heading upward. Regardless of the volatility in Bitcoin's price going down, we're seeing that the MACD, dog is actually doing well against Bitcoin since Bitcoin took a dip. And so we're seeing these blue histogram bars, which is actually quite positive, because we are just so oversold, ladies and gentlemen, like with dog compared to Bitcoin's price. This is outrageous. Right now, this is just so deep in the red that we've never seen this in history. And by this time, eventually we have to see a reversal. We just have to. We've just never seen anything this low before in the history of dog to Bitcoin's price. So ladies and gentlemen, you already know that I'm very bullish on dog Bitcoin. Listen, you just saw all the data and statistics on chain with dog data, sharing with you that whales are accumulating. Also, really great facts from C2 blockchain comparing dog to NFTs, to meme coins, to Bitcoin. I mean, it's all factors that you need to keep in mind. And I think that's exactly why we're seeing everybody accumulate. It's not just whales. I'm also going on X. I see a ton of people dollar cost averaging from $10, $20, $100. I even saw somebody buy $300 out of nowhere. I bought over $700 today. Just add a dollar cost averaging, aka dog cost average. That's actually how you win. And remember, there's always a set supply. Dog cannot be inflated. So there's a scarcity to this. It's a supply and demand. That's all it is. And if you know that dog Bitcoin is going to be the #1 meme coin asset and also the most alpha this year, since it's going to be Bitcoin meme coin season, you might as well be along for the ride. And at prices like this, it's the most obvious play right now. So that's personally what I just want to share with you today. So as always, by supporting the video to get this algorithm out to the public so that more people can understand and learn about dog, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding Dog of the Moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.